Margaret had been the lighthouse keeper on Solitude Point for 7 years, and she was tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep could fix, but the deep, bone-weary exhaustion that comes from feeling invisible to the world. Every evening, she climbed the spiral stairs to light the beacon, watching ships pass safely in the distance. Every morning, she descended to tend her small garden and check the weather instruments. Day after day, the rhythm never changed. The ships never stopped. No one ever waved back when she waved from her window.
What's the point?
She whispered to the wind one particularly gray Tuesday.
Night after night, I keep this light burning for strangers, who sail past without a thought for the person tending their safety.
That afternoon, while weeding her tomato plants, Margaret found something peculiar, a tiny silver envelope buried beneath the basil. Her name was written on it in elegant script that seemed to shimmer in the fading light. Inside was a note that read,
"Dear Margaret, thank you for keeping us safe. We see you, the night travelers."
Margaret looked around the empty coastline, puzzled. She tucked the note into her pocket and forgot about it until the next day, when she found another envelope by the lighthouse door.
Your light guided my daughter safely to harbor during the storm last month. We are grateful, Captain Rodriguez.
Over the following weeks, the mysterious notes appeared everywhere, tucked under flower pots, slipped between weather logs, even floating in her morning coffee cup. Each one was from someone different. A fisherman whose life she'd saved, a family who'd watched her light from their beach house and felt comforted, a young sailor who'd learned navigation by studying her beacon's timing.
You wave from your window every morning at 7:15. It's become part of my daughter's bedtime story. She calls you the angel of the light. Mrs. Chen.
23 years I've been sailing these waters. Your lighthouse has been my North Star, and your garden is the most beautiful sight on this whole coastline, Old Pete.
Margaret began to look forward to finding the notes. She started tending her garden with extra care, knowing someone was watching. She polished the lighthouse lens until it gleamed, imagining all the lives it touched. She even began waving more enthusiastically from her window each morning. But the notes troubled her too. How had these people been watching her all along without her knowing? How had they been leaving these messages without her seeing them? One evening, as she lit the beacon, Margaret made a decision. She wrote her own note and left it on the lighthouse step.
Thank you for seeing me, but I need to know, who are you really? How do you know me so well when I've never seen you?
The next morning, instead of a small silver envelope, she found a large wooden box with a brass nameplate that read,
"For Margaret, from everyone whose life you've touched."
Inside were hundreds of items, pressed flowers from people who'd admired her garden, photographs of ships safely reaching harbor, drawings from children, newspaper clippings about rescued sailors that mentioned her lighthouse, thank you cards yellow with age, and even a ship's log with detailed notes about her lighthouse's reliability. At the bottom of the box was a small mirror and a final note.
"We are not mysterious visitors, Margaret. We are the reflection of every kind act you've done, every life you've touched, every moment you've chosen to care when no one was watching. The night travelers are everyone you've helped find their way home, including yourself."
Margaret picked up the mirror and saw her face, older and wearier than she remembered, but somehow different now. Her eyes looked prouder, more purposeful. In that moment, Margaret understood. The notes hadn't come from mysterious strangers. They had emerged from the deepest part of her own heart, the part that had never forgotten why she chose this solitary calling. Being truly seen wasn't about applause or recognition. It was about the sacred act of showing up each day with purpose, tending to what matters, even when the world seems to look away. That evening, as she climbed the stairs to light the beacon, Margaret felt something she hadn't felt in years. Not just purpose, but peace. The light she cast wasn't just for ships in the darkness. It was for everyone who needed to believe that somewhere, someone was keeping watch. She opened the lighthouse window and waved out at the sea. And for the first time in 7 years, she didn't wait to see if anyone waved back. She waved because it was who she was, a keeper of light, a tender of gardens, a guardian of safe passages. Below in her garden, the basil rustled in the evening breeze, and the tomatoes glowed red in the lighthouse beam. Somewhere in the distance, a ship's horn sounded 3 times. A sailor's thank you. Margaret smiled and continued climbing the stairs. She had a light to tend, and the world was counting on her to keep it burning bright. Sometimes the most important work we do happens when no one is watching. But the world sees us anyway, in the lives we touch and the light we choose to share, day after quiet day.